I'm 21. And my best friend has just announced to her entire family that I'm her boyfriend without warning. Without discussion. Without the slightest respect for the fact that I was drinking water at the time. Actually, Ryan is my boyfriend, Haley said. I choked. Her mother gasped. Her father slowly put down his fork. Her grandmother clapped her hands. And Haley, instead of admitting that she had just lied in front of 12 relatives, took my hand and smiled so naturally that anyone would have thought we were actually dating. You're what I rasped. She squeezed my hand harder. A warning. My boyfriend. Haley repeated. We just haven't told anyone yet. Why, her older sister Emma asked. We wanted to make sure it was serious first. I looked at Haley. She looked at me. Her eyes said, please play along. Mine said, I'm going to bury you beneath this table. Is that true? Her mother asked. Everyone turned toward me. 12 people. 24 eyes. And one grandmother already crying tears of joy. Betraying an elderly woman was not on my list of life goals. Yes? I forced out. The family exploded. Emma shouted. I knew it. Haley's father stood and shook my hand. Finally, what do you mean? Finally, I asked. We were getting tired of waiting for the two of you to figure it out. Haley's mother pressed both hands to her chest. My girl and Ryan. It's perfect. Her grandmother asked, when's the wedding? Grandma Haley exclaimed. Would I need time to buy a dress? I turned toward Haley. Maybe we should let the relationship survive for at least 5 minutes first. She stepped on my foot. Ryan is joking. I'm not. He always jokes when he's nervous. That was true. But using my personal habits against me was unfair. The story could have ended there. Haley could have said, Fine. I panicked. We aren't dating. Instead, her aunt narrowed her eyes. That's strange. You don't look like a couple. Hope. Small. Fragile. Alive. Exactly. I began. Haley turned toward me, placed one hand against my cheek, and kissed me. Not on the cheek. Not briefly. A real kiss. I had approximately half a second to understand what was happening. Then her lips pressed against mine. Her fingers slid to the back of my neck. And my brain shut down every system except one. Your best friend is kissing you. Don't ruin this. The kiss lasted only a few seconds. For me, it lasted approximately 3 years. When Haley pulled away, the table had gone silent. Her aunt nodded. Fine. I'm convinced. Wonderful. I whispered. Haley smiled at her relatives. I continued staring at her, trying to calculate how quickly I could get a new passport and disappear into another country. Let's start at the beginning. My name is Ryan. Haley and I met during our freshman year of college. She arrived late to a lecture, entered the classroom carrying 2 coffees, and sat beside me. You're in my seat, she said. I looked at the empty chairs surrounding us. There are about 40 open seats, but that one is mine. Why? Good view of the board, and far away from the professor. Compelling argument. She held out one of the coffees. A bribe. You knew in advance that I would sit here. No. I bought both for myself, but now I want your seat more than I want the second coffee. I took the cup. That was how our friendship began. Haley was my complete opposite. I liked plans. She considered plans an expression of distrust toward the universe. I arrived early. She appeared at the exact moment event organizers started calling local hospitals. I thought through the decisions. Haley made them first and found out what she had agreed to afterward. Once she entered us in a dance competition, why, I asked. I was bored. We don't know how to dance. That'll make it funnier. We came in last. Haley received a special award for enthusiasm. I received a pulled muscle within a few months. She became the closest person in my life. We studied for exams together, skipped parties to watch movies, knew each other's phone passwords. She kept spare clothes at my place. I kept a toothbrush at hers. When Haley got sick, I brought her soup. When I got dumped during freshman year, she showed up with ice cream and said, "I always knew she was blind." You introduced us. People make mistakes. We behaved like a couple, but we weren't one. That was an important distinction. At least, we emphasized it constantly. Are you dating? People would ask. No. We would answer simultaneously. Never, they would ask. Never. Haley would say, usually much too quickly. I smiled. Pretended I didn't care. Because the best way to preserve a friendship with a girl you are gradually falling in love with is to spend years pretending to be emotionally stable, an extremely healthy strategy. By junior year, I had accepted my fate. Haley would remain my best friend. I would stay beside her. One day, she would meet another man. I would smile at their wedding, then go home and stare dramatically out of a window while sad music played. It was a bad plan, but at least it belonged to me. Until Haley turned me into her boyfriend without permission, the family dinner was for Emma's upcoming wedding. 3 weeks remained. We were discussing the seating chart, the music, and why Uncle Tom could not be allowed near a microphone after his second drink. Then Haley's mother said, "It's a shame you're going alone again." "I'm not going alone again." Haley replied, "I'm simply going alone. My friend's son is single." 2. Haley tensed. I noticed because I knew her too well. "Mom? Don't. He's in law school. That doesn't make him interesting. You haven't even met him." Her aunt added, "You need a calm boyfriend." Haley's father pointed his fork at me. "Someone like Ryan." Everyone looked at us, and Haley panicked. Her panic did not resemble normal panic. Normal people became quiet. Haley made decisions that changed the lives of everyone around her. That was how I became her boyfriend. After dinner, I cornered her in the kitchen. "Did you just make me your boyfriend without permission?" She closed the door. I panicked. "So, you announced our relationship to your entire family. They were pressuring me. You could have said no." "I did. Then you said I was your boyfriend. That is also a form of no." "No." "Haley, that is a form of identity theft." She bit her lip, trying not to smile. "This isn't funny." "It's a little funny. You kissed me. We needed to look convincing. You used tongue and called it convincing." Her cheeks turned pink. A minor victory. Aunt Susan is very observant. "You kissed me because of Aunt Susan. Don't make it weird." "I'm making it weird." She leaned against the counter. "I'm sorry. It sounded sincere." My anger weakened slightly. I hated it when she used genuine emotion. "You're going to tell them the truth." I said, "Of course. Tonight, Mom is having a happy evening." "Tomorrow?" "Emma has a dress fitting tomorrow." "Haley?" She pressed her palms together. "Play along until the wedding." I stared at her. "No." 3 weeks? "No. 21 days. I know how long 3 weeks are. Then you understand how short that is. Why should I agree to any of this? Because Mom has already posted about us in the family group chat." My phone vibrated. A message from my sister, "You're dating Haley and didn't tell me," followed by, "Mom is already choosing a present for you." 2. I looked up. Haley smiled guiltily. "Families communicate quickly. You have 10 seconds to explain why I shouldn't jump out the window. We're on the first floor. Don't interfere with the drama." She stepped closer. "Please. Just until the wedding. Afterward, we'll say we decided to remain friends. You want to stage a relationship and then stage a breakup, a very mature breakup, from a relationship that never existed? Technically, the relationship isn't real." "Either?" "Exactly." Haley took my hand. No performance. She simply intertwined our fingers. Ryan? Please. That was the problem. I rarely managed to say no to her. Not because I was weak, although my sister claimed otherwise. Haley simply almost never truly asked for anything. Usually, she announced the decision and dragged me along. When she said, "Please," it meant she was genuinely afraid. Fine. I said. She lit up. You're the best. But there will be rules. Of course. I raised one finger. No kissing without warning. Fine. No making decisions for me. Fine. No jealousy. The relationship isn't real. She hesitated for 1 second. Of course, after the wedding, we go back to being only friends. Her smile became weaker. Yes? And you tell your family we broke up? Agreed. She hugged me. Thank you. Will I regret this? Almost certainly. 1 minute later, Haley changed my contact name in her phone to boyfriend. Does that break a rule, she asked. Technically? No. Then stop complaining. I woke the next morning to 43 notifications. Haley's mother had posted a photograph of us from dinner. The one where Haley was holding my hand while I looked like a hostage attempting not to anger his captor. The caption read, "Our favorite couple has finally stopped hiding." The comments, "We always knew. Best friends make the best spouses. When are you having children?" The final comment was from her grandmother. I sent Haley a screenshot. She replied, "Don't read the comments. Your grandmother is planning our children. She plans children for everyone. Does she have a spreadsheet? Possibly. College was worse." Our friends greeted us with applause. My roommate Michael walked over and hugged me. "I'm proud of you." "For what?" "You escaped the friend zone." "We aren't." Haley appeared beside me and linked her arm through mine. "Good morning." Boyfriend. "Good morning." Kidnapper. Michael looked at us with delight. "Such chemistry. This is mutual hostility." I said, "That's how love begins." That's how lawsuits begin. Haley began playing the role far too well. She held my hand in the hallways, sat beside me during lectures, even though she normally preferred the seat near the window, stole my hoodies. She already did that before. Now she simply said, "Boyfriend duty. You stole that a year ago." I was preparing. She kissed my cheek in front of friends, rested her head on my shoulder, sat on the edge of my chair when there were no empty seats. The problem was that almost everything felt natural. We had always been close. Now, the invisible boundary we had both carefully ignored had simply disappeared. One evening, Haley came over to watch a movie. She lay beside me, rested her head on my chest. 20 minutes later, she fell asleep. I continued watching the screen. At least I pretended to. In reality, I watched her, her hair spread across my shirt, her hand resting on my stomach, the calm rhythm of her breathing. I realized something simple and unpleasant. What bothered me wasn't that Haley was pretending to be my girlfriend. What frightened me was how badly I wanted her to stop pretending. Michael entered without knocking. He saw us, smiled. "Kute?" I put one finger to my lips. "Quiet." He took a photograph. "Deletait?" For the wedding slideshow. Michael already sent it to Haley. Her phone vibrated. She opened her eyes. "What's happening?" "Michael is violating human rights." She looked at the picture. She was silent for several seconds, then saved it. "Deletait?" I said, "Why we look cute." My heart did something stupid. It isn't real. Haley looked at me. I know. She stood too quickly. Then went to get water. I mentally punched myself in the face. The first serious malfunction happened at a cafe. I was standing in line when a girl from one of my classes approached me. Brooke. We had spoken several times after lectures. She was beautiful. Intelligent. and laughed at my jokes even when they didn't deserve it. Hi. Ryan. Hi. Are you going to the concert on Friday? I haven't decided. I was planning to go. Maybe we could go together. I opened my mouth. At that exact moment, Haley appeared beside me. She practically materialized. She wrapped both arms around mine. Hi. Brooke looked at her. Hi. I'm Haley. I know. Excellent. Haley's smile was polite and dangerous. Brooke looked at me. So, what about the concert? He's busy. Haley said. I turned toward her. Am I? Yes. We're choosing Emma's present. On Friday, you forgot. I hadn't forgotten anything because the plan did not exist. Brooke smiled awkwardly. Maybe another time. She walked away. I freed my arm. Why did you do that? Do what? Chase her away. We're pretending to be a couple. None of your relatives are here. Someone we know might have seen. I looked around the nearly empty cafe. Who? People. The great nation of people? Haley folded her arms. She knew we were dating and still asked you out. She might not have known. The entire college knows because you announced it. That isn't the point. I narrowed my eyes. Are you jealous? No. You literally appeared out of nowhere and invented plans. I didn't like the way she looked at you. How did she look at me? Like she wanted your number? She did. Exactly. I smiled. Haley frowned. What? Nothing. Don't smile like that. Like what? Smook. Rule number 3. This isn't jealousy. Then what is it? Quality control. Of course. She remained irritated for the rest of the day. I enjoyed every minute. Until the wedding rehearsal, that was where Caleb appeared. The photographer, 23. Tall. Smiling. Carrying a camera worth more than my car. He was supposed to photograph the preparations, and he had apparently decided Haley was part of the assignment. Stand closer to the window. He told her, the light is perfect there. Like this. Beautiful. He took several pictures, then showed her the screen. Their shoulders touched. Haley laughed. I stood in the corner holding a box of decorations and suddenly understood why people committed crimes at weddings. Ryan. Emma called, help me with these ribbons. Of course. I cut one ribbon far too aggressively. Emma looked at me. Everything okay. Perfect. 5 minutes later, Haley approached. Are you angry? No. You just cut one piece of ribbon into 9 pieces. I wanted precision. She looked at Caleb, then at me. She smiled. You're jealous. We aren't in a real relationship. That isn't an answer. Quality control. Her smile disappeared. We stared at each other. Both of us understood that the rules were no longer working. Both of us pretended nothing had happened. 1 week before the wedding, Haley's family rented a large house outside the city. We were spending the weekend there to finish preparations. When the rooms were assigned, Haley's mother said without hesitation, Ryan and Haley together. I raised my hand. There's only one bed. She looked at me as though I had announced that water was wet. You're a couple. Of course. Haley said much too quickly. We entered the bedroom. Large bed? 1. Haley placed her bag on the chair. You can sleep on the floor. Why me? Because I'm a woman. You turned me into your boyfriend. Now live with the consequences. Is that a threat? It's a queen-size bed. We'll survive. She threw a pillow at me. That evening, the entire family sat around the fire for hours. When we returned to the room, Haley went into the bathroom. She came out wearing short shorts and one of my old t-shirts. That's mine. It was? I've been looking for it for 6 months. You looked badly. We lay on opposite edges of the bed. Enough distance remained between us to contain a small country. The light went out for 1 minute. It was quiet. Ryan, Yes? Are you asleep? I haven't managed it in the last 30 seconds. Can I ask something? You're going to ask anyway. Haley turned toward me. I could see her silhouette in the moonlight. Have you ever thought about us? My heart stopped. We are literally pretending to be in a relationship right now. That isn't what I mean. Then what do you mean, not as friends? I stared at the ceiling. I could lie. Make a joke. Say she was tired. But lying had already taken us too far. Yes. I answered. Haley didn't move. When? Often. How often? Haley? I need to know. I turned toward her. For several years. She exhaled. Why didn't you say anything? Because every time someone said we look like a couple, you said it could never happen. I never said it could never happen. You said kissing me would cause you family-level discomfort. She covered her face with one hand. I was nervous. You get nervous in very strange ways. I didn't want you to realize. Realize what? Haley lowered her hand. I thought about us. My brain stopped processing information. What? Don't make me repeat it. No. Repeat it. I may have died and started hallucinating. She kicked me lightly. I thought about us. For how long? Doesn't matter. Haley. Since sophomore year. 2 years. Yes. And that entire time, I was afraid of what? She pulled the blanket higher. That we would try ruin everything and lose the friendship. You're the most important person in my life. Relationships end. People break up. But our friendship was safe. Yes. So, you started a relationship without my permission. She grimaced. When you say it like that, it sounds bad. Because it is bad. I know. For the first time. Haley didn't joke. I'm sorry. She said, I really shouldn't have made that choice for you. Why did you kiss me at the table? Because I was afraid you would tell the truth? Was that the only reason? She remained silent. Haley. No. Then why? She looked at my lips. The answer was obvious. Haley slowly moved closer. But stopped. Can I? One word. Finally. Yes. She kissed me. Carefully. Nothing like the kiss at the family table. That had been a performance. This was a question. I kissed her back. Placed one hand on her waist. Haley moved closer. The kiss deepened. Her fingers touched my face. I could feel how quickly she was breathing. How she trembled. Haley never trembled. She jumped from piers without checking the depth. Spoke in front of hundreds of people without preparation. Once argued with a police officer about parking regulations when she was completely wrong. But now she was afraid, because this was real. I stopped. She opened her eyes. What happened? I don't want you to wake up tomorrow and say we got carried away by the role. I won't. You don't know that. I do. Haley. She placed a hand on my chest. This isn't a performance. Are you sure? Yes. If you want to stop, I'll say so. And I will. She smiled. Are you always this serious? Someone has to compensate for you. Impossible task. She kissed me again. That night. For the first time, we stopped pretending. No false confidence. No rushing. No attempt to turn intimacy into proof. We laughed when our foreheads collided. Stopped to make sure everything was okay. She asked several times whether I was certain. I answered honestly every time. Lauter? Haley lay on my chest. My arm was around her shoulders. Her leg was draped over mine. I think we broke rule number 4. She said, You broke it before you even invented it. I'm serious. Soang-i. She lifted her head. What happens now? I don't know. Very helpful? We could stop pretending. Haley watched me for several seconds. then rested her head against me again. We'll talk in the morning. A sentence that never means anything good in the morning. She was different. Not cold. Not at first. We woke, tangled together. Haley smiled, kissed my shoulder. Then she heard relatives talking in the hallway. She tensed, got up quickly. We need to go downstairs. Okay, don't tell anyone. About what? Last night. I wasn't planning to tell your grandmother. Ryan? What? She pulled on her shirt. Let's keep things the way they were for now. The way they were? Fake couple. I sat up. After last night, we need to get through the wedding. Holly? You said it wasn't a performance. It wasn't. Then what was it? I don't know. There it was. Fear. It returned faster than I expected. Fine. I said. She looked relieved. That hurt most of all. The next few days were strange. In public, Haley held my hand, kissed my cheek, sat beside me. In private, she pulled away. She didn't talk about that night. Wouldn't let me bring it up. Every touch now felt like a lie. On the third day, I couldn't take it anymore. We were standing beside the car. Was that night real to you? Haley looked away. I already said I don't know. No? You said we would talk in the morning. This isn't the right time. When will it be? After the wedding. Convenient. Don't pressure me. I'm not pressuring you. I'm asking what I am to you. She folded her arms. You're my best friend. Only that, Ryan. Answer me. We went too far. The words hit. I understand. I didn't say I regretted, but you want to pretend it never happened. I want to preserve us. This isn't how you preserve anything. I'm trying. No? You're trying to have everything at once. Hold me hand. Kiss me. Call me your boyfriend. But whenever you get scared, remind me we're only friends. That isn't fair. What isn't? You knew I was afraid. And I still asked for permission. You said yes. She went silent. Figure out what you want. I said, but not with me playing temporary boyfriend. What does that mean? The performance is over. The wedding is in 1 week. Not me problem. You can't decide that without me. I laughed. There was no humor in it. Interesting thing to hear from the girl who made me her boyfriend without permission. Haley went pale. I regretted it immediately. Not because it wasn't true, but because it struck exactly where it hurt. Fine. She said quietly. Then we aren't a couple anymore. We never were. I walked away. That evening, I wrote to our friends. Haley and I decided to stay friends. Don't ask. Michael replied. That was a very short season. Emma called. What happened? Ask your sister. She locked herself in her room. Then give her time. Are you still coming to the wedding? I closed my eyes. I had promised to help with photographs because the main photographer wouldn't arrive until the ceremony. I'll be there. As a family friend? Yes. Not as Haley's boyfriend. No. The line went quiet. Ryan? She loves you. Then she should learn to tell me instead of everyone else. Haley didn't text. Neither did I. The week passed slowly. I arrived at the wedding early in the morning. Helped arrange tables. Checked the equipment. Photographed the preparations. Tried not to look at Haley. Failed. She wore a pale green dress. Her hair was pinned up. A smile for her relatives on her face. But I knew her too well. She was miserable. Our eyes met several times. We both looked away. Haley's mother approached me. Did you two have a fight? A little. I won't interfere. She paused. But you're good for her. Mrs. Carter. I said I wouldn't interfere. You already are. Then I'll finish quickly. She always makes decisions first because she's afraid of hearing no. Sometimes A person needs to let someone else answer. She walked away. Family wisdom dealt critical damage. During the reception, I spoke with guests. Brooke was there. Too. Apparently. She knew the groom. Hi. She said. Hi. I heard you and Haley broke up. We didn't exactly. I stopped. Yes. Would you like to dance? I looked at the dance floor. Then at Haley. She stood beside Emma. Watching us. I didn't want revenge. I didn't want to make her jealous. But I also wasn't going to reject every possibility because of Haley anymore. Sure. We went to dance. Brooke was pleasant. Easy to talk to. She didn't involve me in family fraud. A major advantage. But I still only saw Haley. She watched, then lowered her eyes. Before, she would have interfered. Walked over. Taken my hand. Declared me unavailable. Now, she remained where she was. For the first time, she allowed me to make my own choice. When the dance ended, I thanked Brooke. She smiled. You're still in love with her. It wasn't a question. Is it obvious? You stepped on my foot when she walked away. Sorry. Go. Ryan, I asked you to dance. Not to propose. Thank you. I found Haley outside. She was standing near the garden with her arms wrapped around herself. Can we talk? She asked. Talk. Not here. Why? Because Aunt Susan is hiding behind that bush. Something rustled in the bushes. I'm looking for an earring. Her aunt shouted. We moved farther away. Haley remained silent for several seconds. I didn't help her. I always had before. Finished her sentences. Rescued her from awkward moments. Now, I waited. I ruined everything. She said, a little. I made you my boyfriend because I was afraid to ask honestly. I watched her. I wanted to hold your hand. Haley continued. I wanted to kiss you. I wanted everyone to know you were mine. But if I had asked for real, you could have said no. I could have. She nodded. So? I hid behind a joke. Then behind my family. Then behind the fake relationship. And after that night, her eyes shone. After that night, everything became real. And I realized I could lose you, not someday, but immediately. So, you pushed me away. Yes. Very logical. I know. She wiped her eyes. I'm not asking you to forget. And I'm not going to make another decision for you. Then, what do you want? Haley took a deep breath. She didn't grab me. Didn't kiss me. Didn't claim me in front of a crowd. She simply asked, Ryan, will you be my boyfriend? I said nothing. She continued nervously. For real. Not because my relatives expect it. Not because I need a wedding date. Not because I'm afraid of being alone. Then why? Because I love you. 3 words. Simple. It turned out hearing them was more frightening than waiting for years. I've loved you for a long time, she said. And I don't want the benefits of a relationship anymore without accepting responsibility for your feelings. Did you rehearse that? For 4 hours. It shows. Ryan. I let her remain nervous for a few more seconds. Only a few. She deserved it. What are the terms? I asked. She blinked. What? Real relationships should have rules. 2. Haley nodded quickly. No fake relationships? Good. No decisions made for the other person. Especially that one. When we're scared, we talk instead of running. Difficult rule. I'll learn. And no unexpected announcements to the family. She considered it. What if it's good news? Haley? Fine. I held out my hand. Then, yes. She looked at my palm. Then placed hers in it. Yes. Yes. Haley smiled. That smile? I had seen it thousands of times. but now it belonged to me. Not because she had decided, because we had both chosen. She stepped closer, then stopped. Can I kiss you? Now you can. Haley kissed me softly. Then more firmly, I wrapped my arms around her waist. A voice came from the bushes. I knew it. Haley pulled away. Aunt Susan, still looking for the earring. 10 minutes later, the entire family knew, not because we told them, because Aunt Susan possessed the communication skills of military intelligence. Haley's mother cried again. Her father shook my hand a second time. Her grandmother asked, "So, is the wedding back on the schedule?" "Grandma," Haley said, "I'm only planning." Michael approached holding a drink. "So, you're back together? Together for the first time?" I replied, "Very complicated show. The new season is better." Haley wrapped herself around my arm. "Much better." A real relationship turned out to be harder than a fake one. In a fake relationship, everything could be blamed on the role. In a real one, we had to talk. When Haley became jealous, she no longer declared me unavailable. At first, one day, Brooke approached me after class again. We were talking. Haley stood nearby. I saw her prepare to interrupt 3 separate times. She didn't. Afterward, she asked, "Do you like her? As a person?" "Yes." Very diplomatic. "Are you jealous?" She exhaled. "Yes." "Thank you for being honest. I hate honesty." "I know. Are you going to date her?" "I'm dating you." "Good answer. This isn't an exam." "Now it's slightly an exam." I kissed her forehead. "You passed." When I got jealous, it was no better. Caleb once texted Haley and invited her to take part in a photo shoot. I said, "Of course. Go." In the tone of a man who wanted the exact opposite, Haley looked at me. "Are you jealous?" "No." "You've been washing the same plate for 5 minutes. It's dirty." "Ryan, a little." She walked over, wrapped her arms around me from behind. "Do you want me to say no?" I thought about it. "No." "Are you sure?" "Yes." "Just tell me if he starts flirting." "What will you do?" "Wash dishes dramatically." Terrifying threat. A few months later, we spent the night together again. This time, not at her parents' house. Not as part of a performance. Without fear that one of us would call it a mistake in the morning, Haley came to me, sat beside me, asked, "Are you sure?" "Yes." "Completely. That's my line." She smiled. That night was calmer than the first. More laughter. Less fear. Afterward, Haley lay on my chest. "I'm not going anywhere in the morning." She said, "Good." And I won't say we got carried away by the role. Even better. And I won't announce our engagement without permission. I looked at her. "Why did that thought even occur to you?" "I'm only listing possibilities." "Holly." "I'm joking." I wasn't convinced. 2 years passed. We graduated from college. Rented an apartment together by mutual decision. Theoretically, one day, I came home and saw boxes. Many boxes. Haley was sitting on the floor with her laptop. "What's happening?" She looked up. "We're moving." I stopped. "Where?" I found a larger apartment. Good neighborhood. 2 bathrooms. A balcony. And room for your computer. I looked at the boxes. At her. Then at the boxes again. Haley slowly closed the laptop. I made the whole decision myself again. A little. I only viewed the apartment and packed half our things. I wanted to be efficient. I remained silent. She stood, then sat down again. "Fine." Starting over, Haley moved a box out from between us. "Ryan, do you want to move into a new apartment with me? What are the benefits?" 2 bathrooms. Continue. A balcony. I'm listening. A separate space for your computer? You studied my weaknesses. There's a park nearby. Strong argument. And a larger kitchen. For someone who can burn water, you care too much about kitchens. Is that a yes? I pretended to think. Haley began tapping her fingers nervously against her knee. Yes. She jumped up and kissed me, then abruptly pulled away. Dumb. I didn't ask. I pulled her back. Official girlfriends qualify for the simplified procedure. Good. But we unpack the boxes together, of course, and we confirm the decision after I see the apartment. Yes. And you do not call my mother before that. Haley's phone rang. The screen said, Ryan's mom. I closed my eyes. Haley? She called me. Did you text her? Maybe. What exactly? That we found a new apartment? I'm working on myself. She smiled. I tried to stay angry. I failed. Oops. Haley made me her boyfriend because she was afraid to ask, honestly. Now she still sometimes ran ahead. Still made decisions faster than she thought. Still had the ability to turn an ordinary Tuesday into a family event, but now she stopped, came back, asked, and allowed me to answer. She no longer announced that I belonged to her. We chose each other ourselves. Every day.